Well, welcome everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you for showing up for this special event and this celebration that we're hosting here for the City of Rialto and the Rialto Police Department. I want to welcome everybody, and on behalf of the Rialto Police Department and the City of Rialto, we want to thank everybody for attending. And I just wanted to briefly recognize some of our dignitaries here that have joined us in this celebration today. So if you can hold off on your applause until I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and start with that. So first, we do have our City Council here today. We do have Mayor Deborah Robertson. We have Councilman and Mayor Pro Tem Joe Baca Jr. We have Councilman Sean O'Connell, Councilman Ed Palmer, Councilman Ed Scott. We have our City Administrator Mike Story. We also have Congressman Joe Baca here with us today. We have the Baldwin Park PD Police Chief Michael Taylor. We have the El Monte PD Police Chief David Reynoso. Montclair Police Department Chief Michael Demoit. Ontario Police Department Chief Brad Kaler. San Bernardino PD Chief Jared Bergwan. We have our Sheriff, San Bernardino Sheriff's Department Sheriff John McMahon. We have our Upland Police Department Chief Brian Johnson. Also the Rialto Fire Chief Matt Freitas. And we have a number of representatives here as well. We do have Rialto's School Superintendent, and I hope I get this right, Cuauhtemoc Avila. We have Assistant Sheriff Jerry Gutierrez from the Riverside Sheriff's Department, Assistant Chief Bill Dance from the California Highway Patrol. We have Jordan Wright, who is representing Supervisor Josie Gonzalez's office. We also have Sarah Garcia, who is representing the 47th Assembly District, Assembly Member Cheryl Brown. Sol Guerra, who is representing California's 35th Congressional District, and Congresswoman Norma Torres. I got to get through all these cards, so hold on, bear with me. I also have from the 31st District for Representative Pete Aguilar's office, Enrique Armenta. And we have Juan Lopez, who is also representing Senator Connie Leva's office in the 20th Senate District for the California Legislature. And I hope that I did not forget anybody. If I did, my apologies to you, but we'll give them a big round of applause. Thank you for joining us today. And apparently they turned the heater on up here, so anyway. But welcome. Again, we're here to celebrate the promotion and the official swearing in of Randy Deanda to the position of Chief of Police. There may be some of you out there that say, well, what is the role of a chief? What does a chief do? And there's not really one clear answer to this. A chief has many responsibilities and many duties. One of the roles of a chief is that of a manager, providing oversight of the department, ensuring that the operations, the finance, budgets, things run according to plan. They're also a leader. Oversight of personnel, sworn and non-personnel or non-sworn personnel, is utmost. They are the one person that represents the organization and is the face of this organization. Chiefs are also mentors and coaches. They're responsible for the development of the department and the personnel within that department. They ensure the smooth function of the organization, and they're also lifetime learners. They have to stay abreast of current events, training, equipment, professional law enforcement trends. They are nurturers. And yes, at times they're even disciplinarians. They're expected to attend countless community events and meetings, similar to this one today. They're expected to be at city council meetings, respond to all citizens and community leaders whenever they are called upon. So from this list, we can see that this is not an easy task. The list of qualifications and skills needed here to be a police chief are many. That is why we are honored to have someone with the caliber and skills of Randy DeAnda to be our next police chief. Randy, we are all very proud of you as our next police chief here in the city of Rialto. I've had the honor of working alongside Randy for the past 20 years, as many of you in this room have. And I've also had the privilege of being involved in a number of different special assignments and operations. And I can tell you that along the way, Randy's leadership and guidance has been invaluable, and he's demonstrated it every step of the way. Today, Randy will be officially sworn in as the Rialto Police Department's 10th Chief of Police. He follows in the footsteps of some of the truly amazing leaders, and I have no doubt that Randy will lead our department into continued greatness. Ronald Reagan said it best: the greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. And we've been fortunate enough that Randy's done both. So with that, we'd like a nice round of applause for Randy. I'd like to now introduce and welcome Councilman Ed Scott up to the podium so he can lead us in our invocation.
Good afternoon. Before I start the invocation, I would just like to say a few words. This year, 2016, will be my 20th anniversary of originally being elected to the City Council. I think that's probably the first year that I got to meet Randy DeAnda. I've known him a long time, and I'm very proud and happy that we have promoted from within, and that it's one of our own, and that we have such talent in our police department that we can do those kind of things. And I know when Randy moves on at some time and point in his life, the same thing will happen again. We live in a country right now where in many cities and in many states, there's a lack of respect for law enforcement. And I think that's very sad. But in my city, in our city, Rialto, there's a tremendous amount of respect for law enforcement. You serve us well, you protect us, you keep us safe, and you do a great job in our city. And we're all very appreciative of that, as we are of the surrounding cities who also do a good job. So I wanted to take a personal minute to thank each and every man and woman in the Rialto Police Department for their service to our community, their service to our chiefs, and their service to humanity. And I also want to take a moment to thank the spouses and families of those who are married to law enforcement personnel who make a huge sacrifice every day, not knowing whether or not their loved one will come back that day, not knowing whether they could be hurt, not knowing what could happen. As a person who knows what it's like to lose a loved one, that's a heavy burden for anybody to carry. So I want to especially thank those of you who are married to law enforcement personnel. And I want to say a special thanks to Laura DeAnda, who we all know wears the pants in the family, for allowing Randy to continue his career with us. Because I know there was a time and point where he kind of wanted to retire, and I know she wanted him to retire. And I really want to thank you, Laura, for staying on as part of our family and moving forward. And from our community, we not only stand behind our police officers and those who work for our police department, but we stand beside you. We thank you for your service. We thank you for keeping us safe, and we have the utmost of respect for you. If you'd now bow your heads. Heavenly Father, please bless our city on this momentous day. Bless our police department, bless our incoming chief, bless our previous chiefs who have served us and served us so well. We ask you to keep them safe. We ask you to guide them and lead them to helping our community to understand how important they are. We ask you to give our chief, Randy DeAnda, the guidance and wisdom to lead his department to better days, to greater days, even though we are in great days. We also ask you to especially bless those who have lost their lives in their service as law enforcement personnel, and ask you and them to watch over our police officers and keep them safe on their daily journey. Lord Jesus, we also ask your blessing and your help with mending those in our country who do not understand the necessity of law enforcement, how hard they work, how they need to be kept safe, and the importance of their job. We ask you to guide those individuals to a better understanding of how important it is to have the men and women who wear the badge. And most importantly, Lord Jesus, we ask you to bless the families and keep them safe as they sit in their homes waiting for their loved ones to come back. And we ask for a special blessing on our city to keep it safe, keep it healthy, and we ask for a blessing on all of our city employees, that they continue to do the great job they do and continue to do the hard work. We ask this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Councilman Scott. Before we move on to our keynote speaker, I wanted to have some of the representatives come up. They have some awards, some presentations that they have for Randy this evening. So the first one that we have, I have Sol Guerra from Congressman Norma Torres' office, representing the 35th Congressional District.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sol Guerra with Congresswoman Norma Torres. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today. She is working hard in DC for us all. But with that, I do still have a certificate of recognition for our new incoming chief, Randy DeAnda. I'm not sure if I can ask for you to come, or should we wait? Great. Just to accept the recognition on her behalf. And it states, with great appreciation of your many years of dedicated commitment, thank you for going above and beyond by serving the citizens in the city of Rialto. Congratulations on your new position as the incoming chief of police, which is dated today, the 6th of January, 2016. Thank you so much. We look forward to please meet our officers.
Okay, our next one is going to be Sarah Garcia from Assemblymember Cheryl R. Brown's office, representing the 47th Assembly District.
Good afternoon. I'm here on the behalf of Assemblymember Cheryl Brown, and it's always a pleasure and an honor to be here. I would like to read what it says. I'd like to read what it says for you. It says, Certificate of Recognition, Randy DeAnda, Rialto Chief of Police. Congratulations on your appointment as Rialto Chief of Police. I applaud this wonderful accomplishment. On behalf of the California State Assembly, we appreciate your passion and your commitment to public service. Signed, Cheryl R. Brown, January 6, 2016. Thank you.
And then we have Jordan Wright from, all right, let me see where it is, Supervisor Josie Gonzalez's office.
Good evening. My name is Jordan Wright. I'm a representative from Supervisor Josie Gonzalez's office. As you all know, law enforcement is extraordinarily important. We've experienced that firsthand with the tragedy we experienced last month. And I think it's important to take a second and look around the room and look at all the law enforcement support we have in the room tonight. We have chiefs of police from multiple cities. We have the county sheriff. And I think the courage and willingness to put themselves in harm's way on December 2nd is indicative of the fact that we have extraordinary law enforcement community here in San Bernardino County. Very happy to be here. I think it's a wonderful privilege anytime we have new leadership come into the county, come into the city. And I'm extraordinarily excited that we have such talent and institutional knowledge here in the city of Rialto. So on behalf of Supervisor Josie Gonzalez, congratulations on your appointment as Chief of Police. I commend the leadership you've exhibited and willingness to protect and serve the residents of this great city. Best wishes, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Congratulations.
All right. I would like now to introduce and welcome to the podium our keynote speaker, our city manager, Mike Story. It's your study.
Well, good afternoon, Rialto. Oh, that is fair to partly cloudy or rainy. That don't work here. So, good afternoon, Rialto. All right, very good. How'd I do, Joe? I'm not as good as it. That's fair. I'm okay. I'll wait till you get up here and things to be able to do that. But well, I consider it a real privilege to be up here and to be able to speak about Randy DeAnda. You know, I've known Randy for a lot of years, more than we really like to share. You know, our daughters went to elementary, middle school, high school together. You know, when I had a lot more hair and a lot less stomach. But I've known Randy as a police officer, you know, as a lieutenant, as a captain, as a husband, a father, a grandfather, and now the privilege to know him as and be part of him being our police chief. But mostly I know Randy that he's been and will continue to be a true leader in our community. And how do I know this? And there's three things I know specifically about Randy. And first off, Randy's an example of a true public servant. He's a true public servant. You know, it says no one becomes a good leader until they become a good servant. Randy's been a dedicated servant in Baldwin Park, here in Rialto, into our community in so many ways I can't even say. It's just been a great example, and he puts that first by being a servant, to be an example, to be a leader. He's just done a great job with that, and he'll continue to do that as our police chief. But good leaders also lead by what they do, not more about what they say. Randy certainly does that. He just doesn't talk it, you know. He goes and does it, and always has done that in his position that I've known him outside of the police department as well as in the police department. He sets a great example that he just doesn't, you know, he goes and does it, doesn't just use the words to do it. Second, the one thing I know about Randy, most of all, he's a great example of a true decision maker. You know, if you know Randy, that's what it's about. It's about making the decisions. You know, everyone can make excuses or make progress, but no one can do both. Randy never makes excuses. He doesn't do it. He may try with me, but it doesn't work that way. So, it doesn't happen. But he really sets an example by progress and by making those decisions and setting that example to do that. And the one thing I know, and Randy knows this, and I've experienced it too, that your critics are not proved wrong by your arguments, but by your accomplishments. Randy's experienced criticism. I've experienced it. We all have. Okay, but he never argues back and doesn't use that as his crutch to be able to do it. He just goes out and gets the job done and accomplishes things and makes the accomplishments his first thing. So he's a true public servant. He's a true decision maker. And lastly, the one thing I know about Randy, whether he's a police chief or I know him as a person, he's a true builder. Now, I'm not sure how he does at home on constructing things. If he's like me, he's more like Tim Allen on home improvement. I'm not real good at those things. But he may not build things good, but the one thing I know Randy prides himself on, he does a great job, is he builds people. He builds people and builds into people. The one thing I know about Randy is to get respect, you must give respect. He's always showing respect. Always showing respect to whoever he comes in contact with, in the community, in his department, in the city, in whatever, representing the city at various stages in the community, at the state level, the federal level, wherever he goes, he shows the respect to people, and because of that, he gets the respect. And the other thing I know about him, that he's an effective leader, because effective leaders not only don't just focus on building great people, they just don't focus on building the organization. Randy builds into people, not just an organization. We have a great police organization, but the only reason it's great is because of the people that are involved in it. That's the investment that Randy's put into it over the years. He invests in the people to be able to do that. You know, we expect the best from our employees in Rialto because we hire the best. We have hired the best, and Randy is the best to be here. It was my privilege to be able to appoint him to be our police chief, and I look forward to serving with him. So Randy, I want to congratulate you and wish you luck. And from all the Rialto employees in our community, we look forward to your true leadership, is what you are, for our community and within the police department. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Well, this is the time that everybody's waiting for. Well, almost. Cake's the thing that we're all waiting for. But before the cake, I'm going to go ahead and now invite, there she is. You moved on me. Mayor Deborah Robertson to come on up with our new police chief, Randy Deanda, for the official swear-in. And then following that, if your family members or whoever's going to pin your badge on will also come up.
Okay, thank you. Ready? Nope, don't come up just yet. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for coming out and turning out for this wonderful, what I'm saying, historic and event and an honor of an event to be a part of. You know, everything that Mike has said and that the others have said is definitely true about Randy. I have been in the city since 1988, and I've had the pleasure now of knowing Randy since I came on council in the 2000s, off and on. And one thing I do appreciate about Randy is he's very straight, very direct, very forward, and you know, you never have to work around it. We have some very wonderful spirited debates and discussions on items, and I appreciate that, because it's when you vet something and have a good conversation, then you can really appreciate. I have a couple of other comments I want to make about Randy, but more importantly about what you've heard about our law enforcement and what that means to our community and how much we really appreciate that in our community. But before I go any further, I want to give my colleagues an opportunity to come up and say something as well, and then I will proceed with the swearing in. So I'm going to start with Mayor Pro Tem Baca Jr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. I want to thank the community, city staff, and law enforcement personnel from surrounding cities to be here. And I appreciate what you do. I had a chance to be in law enforcement as a probation officer and correction officer, and I was on the back end. All of you are on the front lines, and I can appreciate what you do to keep our city and our community safe. It really means a great deal to us as community members, and not just the city of Rialto, but surrounding communities working hand in hand on mutual aid items and working closely. I know we work closely with other law enforcement agencies, so we appreciate you working closely with our law enforcement. But just want to congratulate Randy and everything he's done. I want to thank his wife for sharing him with us, because I know that he had contemplated retirement, but you know, you have to get your significant other's blessing, and he got her blessing, so thank you for your blessing. But Randy's a great man, you know, beyond being a good law enforcement officer, having integrity. He's a great human being. He cares about his family, and that means a lot to me as a resident and as a member on the city council. So I know he's going to care about our families here in the city of Rialto. I know how much his kids and grandkids and his wife, everything means to him. I mean, that's the human being in him, not just the cop, not just the chief, the human being in him, and that's important. You know, his granddaughter, my daughter have a dance class. I see him there supporting his family. He's very supportive of his family, and the Rialto PD is part of his family, an extended family, and I know he's going to do a lot of good things. But most of all, as the mayor said, he's very direct, he's very straightforward. And as Councilman Scott said, you know, he's going to do the right thing. He's going to do what's best for our community. He's going to support our community. And he's very sensitive to people. And I'll share a story with you. I was at a Christmas event at one of our fire stations, and there was a parolee. And the parolee was very thankful of Randy. He goes, you know what, Mr. DeAnda, I am so thankful for him. He helped me get me back off my feet. I have a job, and this is the best Christmas I ever had. So let's give a round of applause for Randy turning people's lives around. Those are the kind of stories that make me feel to have him be our chief, because look, he didn't give up on someone. They turned their life around. Now they're back being productive people in the community. So on behalf of the city of Rialto, the entire Baca family, the entire city council, I want to congratulate you. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you.
And then I didn't know if you wanted to come back up, but if not, Councilmember Palmer, please.
I didn't know I was going to speak today, but I did prepare something. Yeah, but I probably left it at home. Well, I'm kind of unique. I have a son that's a police officer in Rialto also. He's been there for 10 years. But I also am blessed that my youngest son was just sworn in as an officer in McKinney, Texas last week. So having two people in law enforcement brings you a deeper appreciation of what you do. Randy, we go back a long way. Even your son-in-law, Morales, where are you out there? All the way to high school when he was in high school with kids playing football and stuff. So it is, Rialto's like a family police department. I'm just charging you with one thing. Based on what happened in San Bernardino last month, we do have the best officers that we can in Rialto. We need to take care of them. We need to pay them. We need to make them stronger. And my commitment to you as a councilman is I'm going to help you do that. And I'm charging you with growing the department and keeping it strong. Thank you.
Councilmember Scott.
Hi, Randy. I wanted to share a real quick story with you. The night my son Eddie died in 2014, the very first person in this city that contacted me, even though I was not on the city council at that time, was Randy DeAnda. And it was, is there anything I can do to help you or your family? I appreciated that. That meant a lot to me. Eddie grew up. He was born in this city. He was born in Upland, but he grew up in this city for 17 years. Upon his death, I went into his bedroom and went through things. And one of the things I found was his project book, which was a book where they had daily projects at school. He went to Bloomington Christian School. And in one of his projects, and why he kept this, I don't know, was a document that had, where he was supposed to list the most 4 important people in his community. Out of those 4 people, 2 of them were Rialto police officers. One was a chief, and the other was a lieutenant. And I had no idea how important that was to my son, or what an effect this police department had on my son. But I think it says a lot when a 10-year-old boy list the 4 most important people in his life, and 2 of them are police officers from the city that he lives in. That's a lot to be said for this city. That's a lot to be said for your leadership, Randy. Thank you.
And Councilmember O'Connell, and I don't know if this is on, so I'm going to bring you the mic now. Okay. Is it on? Mic?
Good afternoon, everyone. Coming from a unique experience, I was a police officer in 1996 with the city of Rialto until 2004 when I ended up breaking my neck. We've experienced a lot as a police department. When I joined, there was a lot of respect from community-oriented policing. We were well known through our SCAT team. We then went through a period of time where we almost lost the police department. And when I ended up breaking my neck, I joined a citizen group so that we could try to save the police department. And as of today, I have to say I'm extremely proud of where we've come from and where we are. We are the #1 police department, I believe, in the state of California. We've accomplished a lot. We have amazing employees, and we have great leadership. Randy, I've known you since 1996, and I can't say anything except extraordinary things for you and your wife. I want to say thank you for your family, for allowing you to continue as a police department, as the police chief. For the employees, I would reiterate everything my co-counsel has said. I appreciate everything you guys have done. You've given up a lot for the last 7-8 years, and it is our responsibility to recognize that. Randy, anything we can do, you have my personal complete support as well as the city council, and we look forward to working with you for many years to come. Thank you.
Well, thank you all, fellow colleagues, for your comments as well. And I'm now I want to call Randy up so that I could swear him in. But as he comes up, I want to let everyone know why I said that this is historic. Obviously, it goes without saying, the opportunity, finally, when I came to this community in 1988, we had, I think it was Chief Ray Farmer was the police chief. And Ray lived in our community, and he's still here in our community. Rialto's unique to me in the fact that we've had the benefit of having at least 2 of our police chiefs who actually resided in Rialto. And now Randy, even though he lives 1 block outside of Rialto, he lives on Locust, I think everyone knows. And then our city administrator lives 1 block east on Linden. I mean, it just really goes to say, and as I told Mike and I talked to my other colleague members, it's really a statement and a testament to our community when we have law enforcement actually willing to be in our community and living amongst our community. So I appreciate that from you, Randy. And I hear from Randy all the time that he actually definitely is in the community. Even when he's not off duty, he's still in and throughout our community. So that's benefit, that speaks well for the Rialto community. It speaks well for our law enforcement agency. And as we've sat here and said that we know Rialto is the best law enforcement agency in the state. All you other police chiefs, don't take it the wrong way. Just raise the bar and come up and live up to it. No. Anyway, but it's, and then the honor is, for me, is that it's an honor for me to be able to swear you in. The person can always ask who they would love to have swear them in. And it's not a duty that is necessarily bestowed or required by the mayor. But Randy did ask me to swear him in, and that's why I say it's an honor, because I really do appreciate that you did ask me to swear you in. I may not ever have an opportunity again, but, and I'll let you in on a little secret that when I lived in San Diego, I did try out for the police department. And I want you guys to know that I passed 3 of the 4 agility tests, but it was that darn running piece at the end. So, but things happen for a reason, and I still brings me here to you this day, and I'm so honored and so pleased to ask you to take this oath of affirmation. And I would ask if you other members would join with me, if you don't mind, coming up and standing with me, and Sean, you're coming on up, please. I really would. This is not just a me thing, even though I do a lot of me things. You know that. But this isn't a me thing. But this is really, truly about us as a team, as a council. You know, we agree. Sometimes we agree to disagree. But I think we all agree wholeheartedly on you as being the police chief. And I'm just really pleased with that. So if you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Randy DeAnda,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the State of California, that I will take this obligation freely without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Thank you. That's it. You're sworn in. Thank you, guys. Okay. And now I believe we will call your family upon. That's going to do the pinning, and I see daughter coming, and
my
I
wife
think
Laura,
Laura,
Jacqueline, and my son Jeremy.
Which I've had the pleasure of meeting, and there's
And my grandchildren.
Ace.
I'm missing a grandchild.
Where's one of them? This Ace?
This is Ace.
That's Ace.
Adrian and
Ace was
Alexia.
Ace runs the show.
Oh, she's in the restroom.
Okay, so with that. Oh, there she is. All right. Family, nice. Do you want to take a picture? Okay. You'll be family. And now I give to you Rialto's Police Chief, Randy DeAnda. Round of applause.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming. I'm very honored, I'm very humbled to see all of my peers, my friends, my family, my wife, my children, my grandchildren. And it should be noted I'm missing one of my grandsons, Abraham, and then I was blessed to be told on Christmas Eve that my daughter-in-law is expecting her second child. So, and we're hoping for a boy. Right? And obviously I want to acknowledge my wife of 32 years. In July it'll be 33 years of marriage, and she has supported me from the time I was a Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department explorer and intern all the way through the police academy, and she's been there every step of the way. And along with my children and Robert Morales, who's in the audience as one of the police corporals in the department, and my daughter-in-law, Gabriella, we call her Gabby. So I also want to thank all of my family. My brothers and sisters are here, a lot of my aunts and uncles. I am very proud that I am a DeAnda. I don't have time to go into my entire family background, but if you heard the story that I had to tell today, you would all be very, very proud. And I want to acknowledge my aunts and uncles that are here, and my cousins. One of my cousins here that's in the back of the room, Martin Gonzalez, was one of my reasons why I got involved in law enforcement. When I used to go visit him, or I would go visit him when he was in uniform. He retired from the Los Angeles Police Department, and he's in the back of the room there. Marty, you'd say hi to everybody here. Obviously, I want to thank all of the law enforcement agencies, the sheriff, along with the police chiefs in the county, along with the command staff. I know them all very, very well, and on December 2nd, I think you realized how all of law enforcement came together to try and do what they could to protect the victims that we lost, their families, and the ones that survived. And we should always keep them in our prayers and in our thoughts. But what I want to say about law enforcement and all the first responders that day, they were a true example of what we do every day in and day out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's unfortunate that a tragic like this has to bring us together and show what law enforcement trains for day in and day out. Obviously, I also want to thank all of the officers and all of the non-sworn personnel in the Rialto Police Department. I'm going to do my best as your police chief to continue to move forward. You are very, very important to the organization, and I truly appreciate what you do every day, day in and day out. I also want to let the city government, the city council, and the city government, along with all the department heads and the city manager, I will perform to the best of my ability. I will give 110%. One of the things that my family was founded on, that was passed down to me, was the work ethic. And I have one of those work ethics. I had a hard time keeping up with Chief Farrar, but I'm going to continue moving forward with that work ethic. And most importantly, I want to let the citizens of Rialto and the surrounding communities that they are probably the most important commodity of the city. And I will continue to be out in the community. I'll continue to represent, and I will continue to have the compassion towards their needs, and hopefully provide some of the best services that we can. I'm very, very proud of our police department, and I'll eventually want to raise the bar ourselves and be one of the best trained police departments in San Bernardino County, alongside with the body-worn cameras. But I do also want to acknowledge two individuals in the audience here, and that's Chief David Reynoso from the El Monte Police Department, and he was a captain at the Baldwin Park Police Department, who I worked with for 6.5 years, and also the police chief from Baldwin Park Police Department, who is a Rialto resident, and is another one of my mentors, along with my cousin Marty, and he's here in the audience. And Mike, I looked up to you back then. I continue to look up. Hopefully you're available for the advice outside of my resources here in San Bernardino County. So I thank everybody. And you know, one thing that I have to acknowledge about my uncles and my aunts that are in here, large family, and I have to acknowledge their work ethic and what they've instilled in me as being an American of Mexican descent. It's always stayed with me. It'll continue to stay with me. And I do represent the police department. I do represent the community, and I'm going to continue to do so. And I want to thank all of my aunts and uncles that were here. On my dad's side, it means a lot to me to see you. I've been through a lot of the discussions, the politics, and so forth. And I'm very, very proud to be a Deanda. And all of the knowledge and experience and guidance that you guys have given me throughout the years. And again, I want to thank my brothers and sisters who have been there to support me throughout these years. I love you guys very much. And I'm also very proud. My brother-in-law Mark just retired from the California Highway Patrol after 30 years. And my brother-in-law Anthony Dorkin is a corporal with the Ontario Police Department. He's in uniform, but every time I see him, he's working undercover narcotics. My best friend Fernando is here, and he's the one that walked my wife down the aisle when we got married. He was my best man. He's also the godfather, and a very, very big part of my life. And all of my family and friends, and I'm very, very proud of you. And then my children also, Jacqueline and Jarek, that you guys got to meet, and my grandchildren. So thank you for coming, and I'm truly, truly humbled and honored. And I thank all of you. And if I left you out, all my friends, please know that thank you for your support. So.
reached the end. So this concludes our special event and our celebration of our new chief, Randy Deanda. One more round of applause for him, and then I'm going to send you off. Thank you.